Hey, Rockstar. Welcome back to the Expert Edge. Great to have you here. Today's a good topic. We're talking about how to do launches that feel more like a hug than feel like a countdown timer. We're talking about how to replace dopamine with oxytocin. We're talking about building trust. And this is, I believe, an X factor that you can add into your launches, promotions, webinars, workshops, overall marketing. I think it's going to make a huge difference. And I'm really excited. Today's a really good episode. I think you're going to really enjoy it. Now, I wanted to give a final call to you because pretty soon, actually June 1st, I kick off the first cohort I've ever hosted of the Premium Private Client Experience. And that is essentially having a premium private client experience in your business. And I'll quickly explain what that is. What that means is you have a specific way, and this is what I'm going to teach, a specific way to market and attract premium clients into your business. And these are clients that don't necessarily fit in your regular programs, right? So a lot of the times I'll have people come to me and they say, Colin, I'm doing, for me, it might be $1 million, right? They'll say, we're already doing $1 million in the business. I could definitely buy your course. It looks great. But money for me is not really the issue. My issue is I just want really specific feedback and I want to work with you. Could we do that? And I've always had a handful of private clients in my business. Maximum I'll take is about 4 at the most. Typically, I'll have about 2. And the reason why I share that is because, I've done one-on-one coaching for 17 years. That's how I kicked off my business originally. I started with speaking, but I was selling one-on-one coaching, right, from the speaking. That was before even online courses were a thing, right? So this is like back in the OG days. But what I've done is over the years, I've evolved it. And this is what a lot of people in the industry do. They just don't publicly share it, is they'll have a handful of clients that they're working directly with, right? And so I think it's a great model because I think you should have your courses, have your group coaching, have your masterminds. That's great. And having a few premium private clients it's a pleasure to work with them. I really, really enjoy working with these clients. And so there's 2 types of people that are going to join. There are people that are already established. And this is what I'm finding because people are messaging me on Instagram right now. I just had someone join and I know she does $1 million a year. And she just messaged me and was like, Colin, I'm joining this premium private clients experience. So she wants to add that on, right? So if you're doing, more than $20,000 a month or more, bolting this onto your business is really powerful. It should add, the goal would be to add about an extra 20 to 30, maybe $40,000 a month in revenue with just a couple of hours of coaching. Like it's not about building a one-on-one coaching business. That's what I want to be clear. That's not what I'm teaching. The other type of people that are joining are people who maybe you've struggled to sell some group coaching because group coaching is a complex offer. It's a complex offer to sell. It's amazing, but maybe you're just like, I just want to bring in some cash fast. And so you want to learn how to attract premium clients and sell to them. And one of the fastest things, easiest things to sell is one-on-one coaching, right? And like I said, I don't recommend you should build a one-on-one coaching business. But I think it's one of the easiest things to sell and the easiest things to make a lot of money really fast. And so if you're interested in doing that, we have some people who are, they're around the $5,000 to $10,000 a month mark already. And they're like, I want to add this to my business to bring it up to like 20, 30,000 a month. So that's the thing. That's the thing that I'm doing. It's a cohort that I'm hosting myself. It's a 6-week cohort. We're going to do it. The difference between this thing and a lot of what other people do is, yes, I'm going to be teaching, like you're going to get great content, but we're going to be working through it together. It's going to be like milestones that we implement. It's going to be great. Like I have no qualms that you're going to make 10x the return on this. And first cohort, I'm doing it 50% off because it's the first time I've done it. So I wouldn't miss out on this one. If you want to come and join me, you wanted to work with me, it's going to be good. So colinboyd.co/high ticket is where you need to go. The link is in the show notes. We start June 1st. We kick off. It's going to be great. And if you can't make the calls live, you can just follow along the process, right? But obviously try to make the calls live if you can. In Australia, it's early morning. In America, it's like around noon. I think it's like 1 p.m. So it would be evening in the UK. So it should be a time zone that almost everyone can do. But if you can't make all the sessions live, just do the recording, just follow along with the weeks, and yeah, it would be great. You'll get lifetime access to all the recordings, and if we do an edit to it in the future, you'll get access to that as well. So appreciate you, and let's get into today's session, all about oxytocin and changing the way we do marketing. Hey, it's Colin, and you are listening to the Expert Edge podcast. I was a professional speaker for over a decade, and now I focus on helping coaches, speakers, and course creators to speak and sell on virtual and live stages. The Expert Edge podcast is weekly content focused on helping you build your expert business. We cover marketing, storytelling, sales, communication skills, and so much more. Thanks for taking the time to tune in, and make sure you subscribe and follow us on all our social channels so you don't miss a thing. Let's listen to today's episode. So let's have a conversation about how launches, promotions, and even presentations, webinars are changing in 2026, and I think are going to change into 2027. And so basically the premise of this was originally inspired by Ryan Levesque. If you guys know Ryan, he wrote the book Ask Method. He's kind of known for surveys and things like that. In fact, I'm actually spending a day with him in Boston in July with a few friends, which should be really fun. And I wasn't too familiar with Ryan's work, but I was doing some more research into him. And he was also doing some work with a guy called Ron Reich. And they basically put together this premise, which was that launches and marketing, in essence, is changing with the increase of AI. Now, obviously, that is a given. Like it's changing because people are producing more AI. But they were basically saying, like, think the opposite of AI. And so I love this concept because they're basically saying that marketing and building a moat in your business is going to be more about the trust that they have with you as a person, as a personal brand, than it's going to be about any sort of, tactics, countdown timers, urgencies, dopamine. They basically kind of put this premise that, there's one way of marketing, which is all about urgency, which is, buy now, join now, countdown timer, all that sort of stuff. And they're basically suggesting that was the old way of launching. Now, the reason why obviously those sort of principles were brought in is because they work. And I think that, I don't think you should throw the baby out with the bathwater and say, don't have deadlines, don't have cutoffs. But obviously you can have real deadlines and real cutoffs and real limits, right? And so, like, for example, I'm hosting this implementation cohort around premium private clients. It is a real deadline because it starts in, a week or so. It starts pretty soon. And so, like, that's a real deadline, right? And so have real deadlines, but don't lean on the deadline being the main thing that's trying to sell the offer. And so I'm going to go through 4 ideas, and this is a culmination of their ideas and some of my ideas, and I've kind of tweaked them a bit to make them more mine. But in essence, I think this idea of building trust, connection, and almost like feeling like, think about the best marketers that you feel connected to. When I say marketers, like, think about the best coaches, the best course creators, the best leaders in your industry that you feel connected to. And when you agree that it almost feels like you could be friends with them, or you want to be friends with them, it feels like there's a sense of trust and connection in that relationship. And so that's what I'm talking about here. And that's the concept around oxytocin versus dopamine. So I love this idea. So the first concept is talk to a real customer. And what that means is don't do the general avatar exercise. And, I'm sure you've done this. I've done this in the past, where you describe a general avatar. So it's like, it is men aged, 25 to 35. They're single and ready to mingle. No. And that came into my brain. I was just like, I had to say it. They're single and they're looking for, their first corporate role, right? That's like a general avatar. Now, by the way, me saying like single and ready to mingle and just kind of being silly like that, know that that playfulness creates oxytocin. Wouldn't you agree? Like when you're authentically you, your audience are going to feel more connected to you. And so I just wanted to bring that out. I know it's kind of funny to look at it from a meta perspective of what I just did then, and that was real. Like it came into my mind and I just said it, right? And it was authentic. It was me. And so what I'm saying here is like in your marketing, in your communication, in your messaging, you need to be authentically you, because you're going to stand out as authentically you more than any AI tool will. So coming back to our point, talk to one real customer. So rather than saying, like a general avatar of what their struggles are, what their desires are, what their hobbies are, like that sort of thing, think about one real person, like one real customer who you feel connected to, and spend some time and even interview them, find out what their hobbies are, find out who they are, find out what they do. Like I could take that example, and I'm going to make this up, but imagine you were working with that demographic and you're in career coaching and you're working with, young men coming out of university getting their first job. So rather than having a general demographic, like you would find one person. His name's Jack, and he just finished at the University of California, and he's 26 years old. He has a girlfriend named Jenny, and he grew up in Southern California. His hopes are that he's going to be able to find a job that is going to give him direction with where he's going, but he has these fears that he doesn't know how he's going to fit in with this new AI world, and how his skill set will be materialized and valued in this new economy. And the conversation that I had with him was, and then you can talk about a specific conversation. So what I'm saying here is like, get really connected to a person before you start your marketing. So when you do your next webinar, when you're building your next presentation, when you're thinking about your next launch, think about a real person, like one real person, not a made up person that, you don't actually know. Does that make sense? So that's the first thing. The first thing is this concept of, thinking of one real person first, right? One real person first. I was just looking up the premium private clients. It starts June 1st. June 1st is the first session that we have kicking off. So that's a real deadline, right? It's a real deadline in terms of what we're doing. So what I'm saying is not use deadlines, but use connection first. Here's the second big idea is open the kimono. What I mean by open the kimono is think about some stories that you could share that are real personal stories of where you've had a struggle, some vulnerability, a challenge. Now, you don't necessarily have to share something that is unresolved. It is good to share your scars, not your deep wounds. But if you can share something of where you show them that you were just like them. We talk about this in the conversion story formula of how the first question you have to answer for any audience is, are you like me? Right? That's the first question you have to answer. And so this concept of open the kimono is like, open yourself up to a bit more vulnerability. So in your emails, what's one story you could share that you haven't shared before with your audience? What's a personal story? In fact, one of the strategies we teach in Sell from Stage is the concept of a vulnerable video. And usually on CART close day, which is the final day of enrollment, I would get my students, and we teach this around sending a really personal email. It's really short. There's no call to action to buy anything or anything like that. It's a really short email, and it's just like, hey, hey, Jenny, I put together this personal video for you. I wanted to send it over because it's a story that I haven't shared publicly yet. And then there's a click, they go to the page, and it's just a video. And it's just you sharing a personal story, a deep, vulnerable story. Now, obviously, in that video, you're going to link it to the next step is to join your program, right? Because it's the final day of CART close. But it's a very personal, vulnerable, connection-based video. In fact, one of my clients recently did it, and he just modeled what I did, which was, for me, I was literally about to go into physiotherapy in one of our promotions, and it was the last day, and I shot the video. I shot the video the day before. It was last day. Obviously, I couldn't shoot it the day of. Shot it the day before. I was about to go into physiotherapy, and the video was just me in my car, and it's really casual, and it's just telling a personal story. And so what I'm saying here is this idea of opening the kimono is telling a really personal story, and you could do this in your presentations as well. Telling a personal story that will build connection with the audience. That's the second big idea. The third big idea is to reveal the roughs, is what I call it, revealing the roughs. And so one thing that builds real connection with your audience is showing rough drawings, sketches, ideas, like how everything now can be produced so quickly, right? In Claude, ChatGPT, in AI, everything can be produced so quickly and so perfectly. And so the thing that's going to set you apart from everyone else is actually not being perfect, is showing handwriting, is showing a picture that you drew by hand on a piece of paper, or it could be on your iPad, but it's a hand-drawn drawing. Does that make sense? Just the other day, I was working with a client, and I drew this drawing as a hand-drawn drawing of what, like, basically his concept, and it was on the coaching call, and I showed it to him, and he's like, "Oh my gosh, that is so good!" And it's not a good drawing, right? It's not like someone's going to pay money to buy that as a piece of art. But what he meant by it's so good is it's so authentic, it's so clear. And it was just this drawing showing what people have, the struggles they have, and where they want to go. And it was showing the different, decision points that people could have. It was just a visual drawing I did. It's why I love drawing models and frameworks, which we have a big focus on in Sell from Stage. This idea of like drawing frameworks and content and ideas is so powerful. And so this third big idea is revealing the roughs. It's kind of like when you see the video of the watchmaker in the manufacturing plant, and they're picking up a piece of the watch and putting it in with tweezers. It's the Etsy bag maker showing them stitching, the actual stitching in the leather bag. It's the painter in his or her studio with paint all over their overalls doing the painting. So it's showing the drawing, showing the rough. And so don't try to just produce the end result, which is the polished version of it. Take people on the journey of kind of how it began and then where it's gone to. And so, yeah, you should produce something high quality, right? High end and great. And if you can show the roughs, builds oxytocin, it builds trust, it shows where the ideas came from, it shows the journey of where it came from. Does that make sense? And so this third idea I thought was really powerful, revealing the roughs, the rough drafts. The fourth idea is this concept of I call it sprinkling some sweat. And so what that means is, in an age where everything is leveraged, automated, systemized, it's all about scaling. It's doing the unscalable. The unscalable will make you a lot of money. The unscalable will make you different than anyone else. For example, like when people join my program, I'll send them a personal video. Like reach out to them. I use a thing called Bonjoro, and I'll send them a personal video and say, hey, it's Colin here. I'm just down at the beach. I just grabbed some tacos, wherever I'm at, right? Because I'll get a notification on my phone. I'll send them a personal video. And so often I get a reply from people saying, oh my gosh, I've never had the founder reach out and say thank you, or send an encouragement or something like that. So adding this little bit of human touch in what you do, like sending a real email to people, not an automated email, doing a live onboarding call. One of the things we do in our programs is we have, as part of the experience, is one-on-one coaching. Like you get a one-on-one coaching experience with our team, and sometimes even me, depending on what we're doing, is like it's live coaching. I do live coaching in my programs, right? Maybe it's a Loom video you send. So think about it is something doing the things that are unscalable, that are not one-to-many. They're one-to-one. But you do those one-to-ones and you win customers over. You win clients over. You win people because they're like, oh my gosh, this person's the real deal. This is not them trying to just make money off this thing. This is actually the real deal. And so these 4 concepts, I think, will make a massive difference when it comes to your marketing, your messaging, and building a moat around your business. Talk to one real customer, open the kimono, reveal the rough drafts, and sprinkle some sweat. I love it. If you found this valuable, if you haven't yet, I'd love you to, could you leave a real review on Apple, iTunes, or wherever, whatever the thing's called, Apple Podcast. Just go to the bottom and just say, write a written review, and take a screenshot of it and send it to me on Instagram, and I'll send you over a free course that we normally sell for about $197. I'll send you that over. It's really cool. So yeah, if you haven't left a review yet, please do. And if you are considering coming and joining this cohort of the premium private clients, please do. Because I mean, I'll tell you, there's the group that is already signed up for it are amazing. I've had some pretty high level people actually message me and say, I'm joining up, and they ended up joining. And so this is a cohort that I'm hosting. I don't know if I'm going to host it again. This is the first time I've hosted it. It's a method that is very built around this oxytocin idea, which is connection, trust, doing the unscalable. But oh my gosh, you can make a lot of money doing it. And so there's 2 people that are joining, I'm noticing. The first person is you're established in your coaching business. You've already got courses, coaching, group coaching. You're already doing well, right? You've already got clients. You know, more than $10,000 a month, 20, 30. I mean, some people are joining, they're already at $40,000, $50,000 a month. And they're wanting to add this premium private experience, which is a piece of my business that I've always had. And many of my friends have it as well, but they just don't publicly share it. And so the premium private experience it should add, the goal of it is to add anywhere between, 15 to 30,000 is very doable if you're already making some money per month with about, 4 to 5 hours of work. That's the goal, right? In the for those people. The other people that are joining are people who are newer. Maybe you've struggled to sell your courses and struggled to sell a group program, because one of the easiest things to sell is private coaching, right? But the problem is most people do it wrong. And so I want to be clear that what I'm teaching here is I'm not teaching to build a one-on-one coaching business. That's not what this is. But you can get money really fast doing it, is the short answer. And so if you are interested in doing that, definitely come and check it out. It starts June 1st. We're kicking it off, and it's live. It's hosted by me. So just go to colinboyd.co/high ticket, all one word, high ticket, HIGHTICTC. What's CKET? I don't think that's how you spell it. colinboyd.co/high ticket. The link will be in the show notes. I hope you come and join us. It's going to be really good. It's going to be super fun. Appreciate y'all, and we'll talk to you really soon. Bye for now.